Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday Night Team Freedom Zoom call. We're so glad to have you tonight, and we are honored to have our special guest, Nicole Kinsler, our Diamond Upline from Memphis, soon to be of Arkansas. She's moving back, and she may tell us a little bit about that. I just want to take a minute to do some housekeeping before we turn it over to Nicole. First of all, let me just make sure everybody, if we have anybody new on here, that we are giving our new ambassadors, customers, potentials, the option of being on a Healthier You page. That's our companion page to Team Freedom, and it's a page run by Tammy Bertrand and a team that give advice on health, nutrition. They just came off a sugar challenge. They have over 1,000 members. I think it's upwards to like 1,200. A really, really good, safe place to put your potentials, your customers, and your ambassadors. So don't forget about offering that when you sign a new ambassador. I want to remind everybody of 2 upcoming events that you don't want to miss out on. One is our Gut Glam 1-hour power hour that's going to be on April 23rd. We need to be inviting our potentials to that. It's going to be 1 hour long. It's going to show the correlation between looking healthy, so a correlation between healthy hair, nails, skin, and taking supplements and really having a healthy gut. So I have been working on a list, so you need to make sure you are messaging your potentials. I've already had 3 dream teamers that have turned me down the past 3 years and wanting to know about Plexus, but when I send them a message asking them if they want to know how to have healthier hair, skin, nails, guess what they said? Yes, add me. Women are super interested in knowing how to have healthy skin, nails, and hair. So don't miss out. We only have about 40 people going so far, and that number needs to go way up. And right behind the Gut Glam is our Belly Buster. Who is excited about our Belly Buster event? Our 21-day Belly Buster event. It's going to be huge. All the information is on Team Freedom, so you don't want to miss that as well. And our April contest is in full swing. Make sure you're telling your downline about this contest because we've signed quite a few people this month and they're not responding on the appropriate graphic. So we have our action and action and activity equals achievement contest. So for everything that you do in activity and action, you get points. And our top point winner, Nicole, is going to win $250. Is that not huge? We're so excited. We've never given away that much money. So let's all be working towards that. I wish I could win that. And all you have to do is just be in action, activity, working your business. So don't forget about that contest. I'll keep it bumped up on the page. And lastly, May 5th. Everybody knows what May 5th is. It's our big reveal. I'm so excited. We're going to be having a big launch party here in Birmingham. And I know there's a lot of different states. I see faces of people that are going to be having those. So when you get your graphic made, put that on Team Freedom so we can get that information out to our team. So housekeeping out of the way, we're going to hear from one of the sweetest ambassadors I know. She always is encouraging and uplifting. I just love her spirit. Nicole has always had just the kindest spirit, always makes you feel like you're valued, which I love. So thank you, Nicole, for making me always feel so special. And thank you for agreeing to come on here and speak to our team. And a lot of people may or may not know, we heard from Tamara Holloway a couple of months ago. Nicole actually signed Tamara Holloway. So I don't know if she's going to tell that story or not tonight, but whatever she has, I'm sure it's going to be incredible. So go ahead and take it away, Nicole.
Yeah, well, thank you, Datha. I really appreciate you asking me to come on here and just share a little bit of my story and a little bit what's on my heart with you. When I asked her if there was something specific, she was like, just do what you feel you're led to share. And so I truly feel like what I'm going to share tonight is something that I am passionate about, and I am hoping that you'll be able to take some nuggets away from my what I have to share with you. But just a little bit about myself, those who don't know me. I'm actually going up on 5 years, which is mind-blowing that it's been 5 years since I started my journey. May 31st will be 5 years. And I started, probably like a lot of you guys, I started by seeing a post on Facebook and I knew that I needed to get healthy. I was feeling not good. I kind of had made this moment of, okay, I need to start taking care of myself. So I actually joined as a customer first, then joined as an ambassador to get the products even cheaper. And then what happened next is just where my story actually really started. And that was my husband decided that he wanted to go back to school. We have 3 young kids. He wanted to go back to school to become a dentist. And so he was in the process of doing his prereqs and applying for school. And so once he got accepted in December of 2013 is kind of when I was like, okay, either I have to make this business work, or I'm going to have to figure out how to provide for my family during this journey that God has us on. So I kind of started really working the business. Like Datha had mentioned, Tamra actually was the girl that made me go silver. She was my 3rd ambassador that I signed, and we were actually complete strangers, which I love sharing because I hope that encourages you that you might have a diamond ambassador that you just haven't met yet, and that maybe your paths were crossed. We had a mutual friend who I actually worked with her in a Mother's Day out for a very short amount of time, but we had stayed connected on Facebook, and she was the one that introduced me to Tamra. And at the time, we had no idea that 5 years later, she's one of my best friends, and I love, love, love doing life with her. So Andrew got accepted. We were moving to Memphis, and all I wanted, guys, is I wanted to make $1,500 a month. We had decided we were going to take some loans out that were going to cover some of our living expenses, but I knew that I was going to have to cover the rest of our living expenses with whatever I could make with Plexus. And so we moved to Memphis in August of 2014. And that check, guys, was the check that it actually, when it came in, we just kind of both, Andrew and I, were just crying because it was exactly what Andrew was making before he quit his job to move to Memphis. And so it was just like, God was like, okay, follow me and I will provide. And that is what he did. And so I just continued to work my business, and God continued to grow it and bring incredible people into my life. And I'm happy to say that on May 17th, which is not far from now, Andrew's going to be graduating, and we will be moving back to Arkansas. But we are getting out of school debt free, which is something that I never thought was possible because it's super expensive. And we are just so grateful that we are entering into this next stage of our lives without all the debt that dental school can encounter. So that's just a little bit of my story. And I'll share a little bit, bits and pieces from what I want to share with you guys. You can hear a little bit more of my business and my heart for people and things like that. So tonight, when I was thinking about, okay, what do I want to share with you guys tonight? And one thing that kept coming back are the 3 things that I feel can help you become successful in this business. And that is belief, our attitude, and our commitment. And I feel like all 3 of these areas really tie together in growing our business and how successful we are. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is our belief. If you're sitting out there and you struggle with self-belief, I want you to know I did too, and I still do. Can you believe that? After 5 years, y'all, I still struggle with belief, and I continually have to grow myself and have people speak belief into me. Number 1, that I can do it. And number 2, belief in all these different areas that encompass my business. You know, when I started Plexus 5 years ago, I actually remember Suzanne asking me, hey, why don't you sign up as an ambassador so you can sell these products so that you can pay for them? And I remember thinking, there is no way that I am ever going to sell anything or have anything to do with network marketing. I had done one other network marketing company before. I had one party, and that was it. I closed the door and I was like, this is not worth it. And I paid a lot more than $34.95, let me tell you. But I shied away because I had a skewed view of what network marketing was. See, for me, I thought network marketing was me bugging my friends, me having to do parties, keeping inventory, and selling myself. But once I really got into Plexus and network marketing as an industry, what I realized is it was so much more than that. Y'all, it is about building relationships. It's about pouring into people. It's about sharing our passion and desire of something that is very dear to us. And I think sometimes, when we have this skewed view of what network marketing actually is, that is what pushes us away. But guys, if you don't know me, Dathan knows me pretty well. Relationships really matter to me. And so once I got that whole negative connotation of network marketing, I was able to move forward, and I was able to really start growing my business and really moving forward. So when we're talking about belief, there's several different things that we are going to touch on. And that is, we need to have belief in this industry, network marketing. We need to have belief in our company, belief in our products, and of course, belief in ourselves. And so, how do you do that? Like I said, with this industry, is we need to educate ourselves. We need to educate so we feel confident that when we are sharing not just about Plexus, but what an incredible opportunity this is, that we literally feel confident just to share our heart and to explain to these people that come in our paths, like what network marketing has done for us and what it's done for so many other people. With our company, we need to feel confident in sharing, what things our company has done for us, for others, how generous they are, how much they love on their ambassadors, how much they give to different organizations. So we need to make sure that we know that stuff, because guys, that is going to build belief into ourselves. And then our products and our comp plan. I think sometimes, myself included, I get overwhelmed because I have zero green in me. Zero. I could care less like what I'm putting in my body. And I'm just being honest with you. I am not bent like that. Like that does not excite me whatsoever. I'm a yellow. So obviously relationships really matter to me. And I love I have some blue in me. So I really like having fun, but green, none. But y'all, it is important to know why our products and the ingredients are so amazing, because we need to be able to, number one, connect with other people who have questions about our products, but also knowing that information is going to build belief into ourselves. Like, it's going to help encourage us to talk to somebody about it, because we feel confident because we know what we're talking about. Also, the comp plan. Our comp plan is hands down the best comp plan. I have a lot more business. Like, the comp plan excites me more than the green. And so I think that is so important, because we need to have that. Also helps build us, belief in us, because we know it works. We know that it's unique. We know that it's very, very special than any other comp plan out there. And we just need to make sure that we really study and understand those three areas, because that'll help us with our belief. But then also, guys, ourselves. Like, we need to have belief in our challenge, you guys. One thing that I always tell when I'm on conversations with people and they're having a hard time, they're like, I can't do this, Nicole. I can't. Like, it's not my personality. I really can't. This is like overwhelming me. Is I tell them, okay, I want you to write out 5 things that you like about yourself. 5 things that make you a good ambassador. 5 things that really make you you. Because that helps also just belief in yourself. Like, I love people. I love helping people be successful. I love, enlisting those things, guys, because that helps you see, okay, number one, we were all uniquely made in the image of God. And so we all have gifts and talents that he gives us. My gifts and talents are very different than Datha's. They're very different than Tammy's. They're very different, but that's the way he made us. But that makes us work so well. And so if you have a hard time having that belief in yourself, I'm going to ask you, number one, to list those 5 things, but also to have somebody, help your upline or a couple upline above, speak those truths into you, because sometimes that's what we need to hear, that we can do it, that people do want to hear what we have to say, that people care about what we love and what we have passion over. So that's just a little bit on belief that really excites me, and it's so important in going further in your business. Tamara Holloway, she always says, belief doesn't come from success. Success comes from belief. Y'all, that is so true. Success comes from belief. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk to you about is our attitude. This is so big, guys, because we also are working in an industry that is full of a bunch of women that like to complain sometimes, that like to talk, and just, it's just hard to have a good attitude when it is hard. And I think that what we have to understand is how crucial our attitude is in moving forward in our business. If we are grumpy and complaining and whining about, customers leaving and ambassadors leaving, or not, having their autos turned on, or that is not going to get us anywhere. It is only going to hinder us from moving forward. Marianne Luciani, who I just adore, she says, as a leader, your most precious asset is your attitude. Can I say an amen? Like, that is so true. That is one thing, guys, that if we have a positive attitude, like, people are going to see that, and it's going to seep into conversations. It's going to seep into connecting with prospects. And this, I just use this as an example, but I had, I guess it was about a year ago, I had an ambassador come to me, or she was a new ambassador, and she had said that she was at dinner with some friends, and there was a group of girls at one table, and she was with her husband at another table. Now, these girls did not know each other, but they had one thing in common, and that is that they were both ambassadors. But they didn't know each other. They weren't on each other's teams. But the table of all the girls, they were over there complaining and grumbling and talking and being real negative about a certain situation. And this girl, who was a new ambassador, overheard the conversation and was just devastated. She was devastated on so many different levels, but mainly that she had just joined this amazing company that she thought was an amazing journey, and she overheard a conversation that tainted that because of bad attitudes and a situation. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that you cannot have a bad day. I'm not saying that you can't have a situation that frustrates you, that you are annoyed with. I'm not saying you can't have frustrations when ambassadors leave or customers leave. But what I'm saying is it's what you do with those things that matters. So going to your upline and discussing it, going to that person and talking about it, or just, for myself, sometimes I just have to stand back and just say, okay, God, you've got this. I have to let go of it and trust that you are in control. And that's hard sometimes. So I'm not saying everything has to always be roses, because It's not. We live in a sinful world, and we're working in a business that deals with a lot of ups and downs, the roller coaster of network marketing. And so we will have those moments, but it's really how we handle those moments that is what's going to move us forward. Okay. I just kind of wrote a couple of things. It says attitudes are contagious and our teams are watching. We need to make sure we have a grateful attitude daily as we work from our hearts and to serve others. That is what we're here for, guys, is to serve others. This is a relationship company, and our attitudes play a big part in that. We need to remember that our attitudes determine how well we do something. So if we have a rotten attitude, we're not going to do something 100% because we're frustrated or upset. And so just really evaluating where we're at, where you're at, and how you can overcome that frustration is huge. Attitude is a choice. We have control over that. We have control if we're going to respond a certain way. Sometimes my kids say that they don't have control over it. My 7-year-old says, that was not me, that was Satan. And I'm like, yeah, it probably was. But at the same time, you still need to think before you talk because your words hurt. Okay. And then the third thing that I'm going to talk on real quick is commitment. Your commitment and your persistency will determine your success. I want you to ask yourself a question. What is your commitment level? If you're committed, you will have to make sacrifices. I remember when I first really decided that I was going to work this as a business, and I really needed to make this, our family's income. And I remember, there were lots of nights that I sacrificed time with my family and watching TV and just scrolling through Facebook and scrolling through Pinterest. I was super crafty before Plexus, and I still try to make time for that. And I'm not saying that you're going to have to make sacrifices forever, but you will have to make sacrifices at the beginning to get you a big launch into the business and into creating your team. Now, another thing with that looks different for everybody. One thing that I have a lot of people that come to me and they say, okay, how do I balance it all? Time management is key. That's one of my big things that I'm very passionate about is time management and making this business work with having a family. Me specifically, because my husband has been in dental school, so I've basically been a single parent. And so how do you juggle that? And with commitment, it kind of plays in the same. I recommend them always going and making it a family affair. Bringing your husband in on it, bringing your kids, if you've got kids that can understand, hey, mommy has to work right now, but I'll be there in 30 minutes after I get off this call. Or, okay, when the kids are during their nap time, their precious nap time, that you have that 30, 45 minutes of just, utilizing that time to respond to messages, reaching out to people, things like that. But one of the biggest thing is bringing your family in on your journey. That will help a lot with them giving you grace if the dishes aren't done right away, or if if you're the cooking or the laundry or something is behind. They know why, and they know that this is for us. I'm doing this for us. And so I think that is huge. Let's see here. In life, the joys of victory goes to those that make 100% commitment to the outcome. To those who have a whatever it takes kind of attitude, there are no excuses, the no excuses and no attitude. And one thing, I talk also a lot about, commitment is, that feeling that you get when you say you're going to do something, but after like that feeling, that excitement is gone, you're still doing it. Like, that's hard. Like, when if you've ever gone to like a convention, or if you've ever gone to some type of meeting and you're on this cloud nine, and you have all this information, you're so excited and you're committing to doing all these things. Okay, I'm going to go home, I'm going to do this, I'm going to, do X, Y, and Z. Well, you get home and life hits the fan, and you've got kids crawling on you, you've got dinner that needs to be on the table, you have sport activity, you have all this stuff that is just weighing on you. Okay, well, we've got to figure out, are we going to still be committed to that after that exciting feeling is gone? That's true commitment, is still doing it after that feeling is gone. If you're committed, you will see results. Motivation is what gets you started, but commitment is what keeps you going. And I think that's so, so true. One other thing that I wanted before I close here is I want you to stop focusing on your weaknesses and really focus on your strengths. I think that's something that probably 2 years, maybe 3 years into my journey, before I really understood that that's what I needed to do. Because, this business, there's so many times that you can compare yourself to other people, or say, oh, so-and-so is doing something better, or why am I such a bad leader? Or, you can play that comparison game. And one thing that I had to really work on is realizing I don't need to work on my weaknesses. I have a lot of weaknesses. And I should say, we should never work on them. We are called to be stretched and to grow. And I think God gives us opportunities to do that. But He's also given us gifts and talents, and that is where we need to flourish. So making a list of things that you feel like you're really good at, and the gifts that you feel like God has really given you, then using those and not focusing so much on your weaknesses, but really utilizing your strengths, I think will really help that. There's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you do it when it's convenient. But when you're committed to something, you accept the no excuse, only results. You draw your line in the sand. So what I want to, as I close tonight, I want to encourage you guys, number one, to build your belief. That is huge. Self-development, but building your belief, finding those testimonies that you can hold on to when you're having a bad day, when you have a customer that says, that Tribal-X isn't working for me, I'm quitting. Well, you're going to have those testimonies that it does work. It does work for people. You know that it's an amazing product, and you know that. So knowing those testimonies, attitude, check your attitude, and constantly say, okay, where is my attitude? How am I relaying this information to somebody? Do I need an attitude check? How, just kind of reflecting on our attitude and how we are representing ourselves. And then thirdly, just commitment, guys. Where is your commitment? Where is that line in the sand? And once you draw that line in the sand, I want you to go for it. I'm here to tell you that 5 years after being in this business, it is so worth it. Now, I am also first to say it has been hard. It has been tough to get here. And I still have hard days. I still have rough days. But to think that, everybody in any job, I have never met one person that loves their job so much that they don't have a bad day. We have bad days, and it's how we pick ourselves up and move forward is how, is what's going to define our journey. And one thing I learned really early on is that my rank didn't define who I was. And I think that that's also, so in closing, like knowing your rank and, when I I guess I was a gold ambassador, or it might have been a senior gold ambassador. Tamara passed me in rank, which at the time I was just grateful for getting a paycheck that was providing for my family. But it was hard sometimes, really getting past that. And that's kind of when I was wrestling and just saying, okay, even though I'm a gold ambassador, doesn't mean that I'm not a great leader. Doesn't mean that I can't lead a team. So if you're sitting out there and you're a silver ambassador or a gold ambassador or senior gold, you are a leader. You have somebody under you. You're a leader over those people. And I want to encourage you to really be that leader that they need you to be. Okay, I feel like I've totally been rambling, Datha. But that's just a few things that I wanted to share with you guys tonight. So.
That was awesome. You're not rambling. And I want to ask you, you said something and I want to write it down. You said something about interest versus commitment and what's the difference. And I want to make sure that we hear that and really take it to heart. I want to write down exactly what you said.
Okay. It just says when you're, let's see here. Okay, there's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you do it only when it's convenient.
Okay.
When you're committed to something, you accept a no excuse, only results.
Awesome. Awesome. That was fabulous. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Tuesday night to spend some time with us. I appreciate it so much, and I can't wait to see you at convention.
I know it's going to be here before we know it.
They're going to convention. I think I have like 60 or 70 people off my downline that's going to convention, so we're super excited. And if you see Nicole, stop and say hey.
Yeah, say hi.
And thank you so much again. I appreciate it, and thank you. Y'all have a great
You're welcome. Y'all have a good night. Thanks.